Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you guys are all well. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So we've had a bit of a pop to the upside in price action here, as you can see, above all these previous highs, previous little wick highs on these this very tight range. So obviously price trading above there triggered a few stops, obviously with people just above this range, which would be a sensible place for a stop, and obviously that's given us the momentum to get up to the lofty heights of just under 17,000. So obviously it is good. We have accelerated away from this support zone. So hopefully we can, we've got a better chance of holding above it now and continuing to the upside, now that we've put in this distance above this price action. So this should act as a decent support, not only the support below us, but the support in this area as well, which is above our previous support level. So yeah, we've got a decent range in our support. We've given ourselves a bit of breathing room. So now we just waiting to see if we can push on towards 17,500, potentially even 18,500. 18,500 been the particularly important area for us to get back over. So a little pop to the upside, nothing to get too excited about. Like I said, all it pretty much was is that we traded above, we managed to squeeze above these recent highs here, and that obviously triggered enough stops to basically get us up to where we are now. If we go and look at Finance 1.0, S&P is below its resistance, and currently trying to sort of back test into it. Does kind of need to hold, get back above here, and then try and break this trend line. Or we're pretty much just opening up a move down, basically down to new lows. Maybe we put in a higher low relative to these lows, but you've just got to look at the trend being your friend, and just give us a more likely scenario of obviously taking out this low. But we could put in a higher low relative to this low and then turn back up. Maybe that would come in around this support area here, maybe even this support area here, but I don't think that's probably deep enough really if we are then to start a medium-term downtrend. What I will draw in though is a trend line. Pretty much under here, and I guess that means if we break this trend line, then yeah, I mean that could be the trigger for lower prices. So yeah, maybe this will be an important support area because it does come in not too far away from this trend line. Obviously we've got a potential catalyst with Jerome Powell speaking today. Maybe with the market price action, he will think it's got a bit of leeway to be a bit more hawkish. We shall have to see. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens with that. 10-year still hanging there or thereabouts around these lows, obviously slightly off its lows, but nothing major. Does also have a little bit of a trend line itself in here, which it's practically at. So if it is to break above here, then yeah, I mean maybe we could then take a leg up, and that could be the end of this pullback. The DXY is still sort of flirting with this support area. Has looking like it wants to make obviously a lower high relative to this high after making probably just about a lower low-ish. I mean lower low for more price action candles at least anyway, even if like it's practically about the same price. So yeah, it could be lining up a break of this support area. But obviously whatever above it and we don't break below, then like just similar with Bitcoin, if we don't trade lower, ultimately the path of least resistance will be back up to the upside. Not too much else to look at on here other than we did get that forward check, that back check, and then that pay check for the Ethereum Satoshi pairing straight up into resistance here. So it will be interesting now to see if we've put this downtrend here, put it aside, and now we're going to go on a medium-term uptrend and potentially take out this resistance area, and then continue above these highs here. That would be especially nice to see. with crypto still, Bitcoin still being relatively so weak. I mean, if we clear this resistance area here, with Bitcoin still sub 20k, which if we clear this resistance area, I would expect Bitcoin still to be sub 20k. Then yeah, I mean that's pretty good. That does really speak to the strength of Ethereum going forwards, where we would expect it to certainly be a lot lower relative to Bitcoin. The USD pairing though is up into resistance right now. Pretty important area of resistance. I think we spoke about this before. Once we get back above this sort of just mid 1300s level, yeah, it does open up. It does open up a considerable upside. Yeah, it just opens up considerable upside. I think the bears will have to start thinking about where this chart is going to go after this, because it could potentially have bottomed out there. Obviously, this low here, this slightly higher low. We do with Bitcoin as well have various bullish divergences on higher time frames, which are relatively powerful. So yeah, I mean, this could be the low, all being well, and the Fed not doing anything crazy. But there is obviously also like the 99.9% likelihood of a recession that everyone is talking about. But I mean, if everyone's talking about and is that higher probability, then I mean you do have to wonder how much is priced in. However, it does not really, in as far as equity prices, it's not really factored into earnings yet. So maybe the market can still take a leg lower, which will obviously drag down crypto with it. Oil got an 80 handle once again. So I mean, a little bit higher, a little bit more work here for the oil price, and then it could actually start to make put an end to this downtrend that we've had. Like I believe I've said, between these areas is probably where it about should be. It would be pretty dire economic conditions for it to take out this $60 level. So just coming into it, this is as good a place as any for this to bottom out. And like I believe I've said a few times, in this range here is probably about where it should realistically stay for the foreseeable future. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Let's finally go and look at stochastics. How are they looking? 4 hour pointing up, still got some room left in that. 12 hour did come down, but is looking to point back up again here. Daily still trending up, and yeah, still trending up and in the bullish zone, so that is obviously good to see. Buy daily turned up from this low level, that's good to see. 3 day looking to turn up from this low level, that is good to see. 5 day they're still pointing down, and weekly still pointing down, and I guess bi-weekly is going to be pointing up from a very low level, and then monthly looking to turn up as well. So I mean, I believe I have been saying that maybe here is the low, maybe a few $1,000s below is the low, but we've got to be expecting either a full-on the low and a reversal and the starts of a new bull market, albeit a bit tentative at start, or we are at least going to put in a very decent rally, even if we then to roll over and then potentially take out these lows. And a very decent rally, I'm talking like basically up towards 30,000, which is literally nearly a 2x. It is a 2x from the lows pretty much. But yeah, towards 30,000, and then we can reassess the situation there. I'm sure with everything that we've seen that has gone on with FTX, we pretty much know that a lot of a lot of how we got to 69,000 was just a complete fakery and a Ponzi. So I mean, to class that as like a high, a real high is difficult in my opinion. So I don't necessarily see it something that yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that if we say we get up to 30,000, potentially 40,000, in this new sort of deleveraged market where people are going to be a lot more careful, then I would then consider that to be significantly higher in reality than the 69,000 that we got to before, just because we just know that was just a fugazi. It wasn't on the elemental scale. It was like Point to point to is this $69,000 Bitcoin in the room with us now, sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, any move up now is gonna have to it's gonna be difficult for a new big player to come in to fluff it up that much. Obviously, in this immediate term, give it a few years, people will forget, will make the same mistakes again. New players then will have time to percolate into our crypto sphere. Just defrauding and robbing and everybody basically, and then run off and take their money out of it, donate it to donate it to whoever they want to donate it to, wherever. It will just disappear, and then all of a sudden we'll be like Wile E. Coyote looking down, and then we're just left with nothing. Yeah, I'm sure that will happen again at some point in the future. But yeah, what prices is that going to be? Bitcoin's going to be, and just what are going to be the relative prices of stocks or the risk assets, the dollar, and all those sorts of things in, like, say 2 or 3, 4 years time, even maybe. So yeah, that is it, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.